So here is your first look at a retail and fake pair of the Nike Travis Scott Jordan 1 lows in the Phantom Black colorway. Can you tell any difference between these two? Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a comparison video for you between two pairs of the Nike Air Jordan 1 Low Travis Scott Black Phantoms. This is going to be a good one. So I'm looking forward to this. The retail one is on my right, fake one's on my left, and I'll just be showing you the differences and what to look for if you're trying to purchase a retail one. So let's get straight into it. So first thing to note, these are both a UK 9, US 10 in sizing. However, as you can see probably, the box sizing is very different between the two, with the retail one on top being much smaller than the fake one underneath. So there is a clear difference in sizing of the two boxes, and I'll show you that from the close-up. So you can see there's probably about 2 centimeters either side compared retail to fake. In terms of the patterns on the box, I would say take a closer look at the Cactus Jack face on both of these boxes, and you can see a difference. I would say on the retail one, it's a little bit more indented and more cleanly printed into the box lid, whereas on the fake one, feel-wise, it is very different when running your finger over it. The retail one, you can definitely feel the indent of the print of the face on top of the box. So now we'll take off the cover and take a look at the actual box underneath, and here are the two boxes. I really do like a Nike black box. I think it looks so cool. It just gives that stealth kind of vibes to it, but you can see there is a difference in sizing, and they should be exactly the same because these are the same size of shoe, but there's nothing really too different in the appearance. I'd say they've actually got this pretty much spot on in terms of the color and the Nike logo on top, but we'll take a closer look at the labels now. So from the close-up, you can see that the fake one has gone for that US label compared to the retail one, which was purchased here in the UK. Fake ones seem to always replicate the US label just because it's a much more mass market compared to the UK one. But if you look at the sizing label, you can see differences here. Where it says USA 10 and the Euro 44, you can see a sizing and font difference between the retail one and the fake one. Also, if you look on the left side here where it says Air Jordan 1 Low OG SP, you can see this text is much thicker on the fake label compared to the retail one. However, these details are pretty minor, so take a closer look at both of the labels if you are trying to authenticate your pair. But nobody really wants me to talk about the boxes for this entire video, and we're more excited to get inside and take a look at the shoes. So we'll open them up and take a closer look now. Let's open up the retail one first. Please consider I actually have already unboxed these for another video, so it's probably not packaged great, but that's just because of me. So it does come with two bandana kind of like cloths, which were actually wrapped around each individual shoe when I purchased them, but now they're not because I couldn't be bothered repackaging like that. But they did actually come wrapped around the shoe. So we'll take a look at the fake one now as well. So we open it up, and they have actually wrapped the bandana around each individual shoe like it does on the retail. However, it stinks of glue. That smell of glue is so strong. That is absolutely crazy. Holy moly, that's so strong, the glue. That is the strongest smelling glue I've ever smelled on a fake. That is horrendous. So we'll take out both of these and take a closer look at the bandana cloth on the top. So before we get into the shoes, let's take a closer look at this kind of like bandana material here, and we can see there is actually slight differences in material and color. So if we look at the overall black material, I would actually say there's a color difference and a material difference between the two. I would say the retail one is a lot softer than the fake one. The fake one feels thicker, but not as high quality, and the stitching going around the edge is a little bit loose. And in terms of the pattern, I would say that the purple pattern on the top is a slightly lighter color than the fake one, but at first glance, I'm telling you, they're relatively close, and you really wouldn't be able to tell straight away. You'd have to look really closely at some of the details. So here is your first look at a retail and fake pair of the Nike Travis Scott Jordan 1 lows in the Phantom Black colorway. Can you tell any difference between these two? So the first difference I'm going to point out is on the back of the shoe, and if you take a look at the embroidery on the back heel of both of these pairs, you can see a difference between the retail and fake. So from the close-up, you can see that the Air Jordan text is much thicker on the fake one compared to the retail one, and pretty much all the gaps in this wings logo are much bigger on the fake one compared to the retail one, and the overall embroidery is just a lot messier than it is on the retail one. I would say the quality of embroidery and pretty much quality of the shoe, unless you've got a moldy pair, is very good. So if the details like that don't match up, it's most likely that they're fake. Taking a closer look at the Cactus Jack logo on the tongue, we can see differences in the placement here, and I'll show you in the close-up. So if you look at the 3 lines at the top of the Cactus Jack logo, you can see they're placed higher up on the retail one compared to the fake one. and positionally it's just very different from retail to fake. In terms of color though, it does look relatively the same, just the position of both of these. Looking at the inside of the shoe, and it does actually have Cactus Jack print on the inside here, however it is very subtle. Showing you this side by side retail to fake, you can see differences. So from the close up you can see that this Cactus Jack logo is actually much easier to see on the fake one compared to the retail one. On the fake one it has a more glossy look to it, more laminated, whereas on the retail one you can see it blends in pretty much and is very hard to see in certain angles. However, on the fake one it's much easier to see. This is a clear telltale difference between the two pairs and something to look out for if you are trying to authenticate your pair. So another mistake that's on quite a lot of fakes and not on a retail pair is if you look at the stitching going around the sole here, and I'll give you a close-up of this, on the fake one you can see that it's overlapped compared to the retail one. On the retail one you'll see it's cleanly stitched all the way around the sole and there's no overlapping stitching, whereas on the fake one, which is a common flaw and pretty much a common flaw across all the Travis Scott Jordan 1 lows on fake pairs, there is normally an overlapping stitching, especially on early pairs. Looking at the Nike Air logo on the tongue here, there is a difference between the two in terms of the color. What I would say is the Nike Air logo on the fake one, it actually looks a lot cleaner than it does on the retail one. On the fake one, this Nike Air logo is in a pristine white, whereas on the retail one, I would say it looks almost like an old dusty white. Still white, but just not as clean. I know that doesn't really make sense, but I'm telling you, it's just a slightly off-white kind of color, not crystal white like it is on the fake pair. Hopefully that shows up well on the camera. Taking a look at the underside of this label and looking at the red text here, I'll give you a close-up of this. You can see there's clear mistakes on the fake one compared to the retail one, where you can see that the embroidered text is kind of like smudged and just misaligned, and also the letters are pretty much joined together, compared to the retail one, which is done incredibly cleanly and there's no mistake at all. So something to note, these small details, the quality control on these is pretty good unless they just got moldy in shipment, but other than that, they're actually quite high quality and very well made. Now we're going to take a look at the left shoe and the spare accessories that come with it. So on this pair, it does actually come with two sets of spare laces, a red one and this white and black, almost checkered-like vibe. But they did come with two spare sets of laces where you could customize your shoe to just make them look a little bit more wild. Although I'm not taking the laces out of the bag, the difference that I can see straight away is almost that plastic end tip of the laces is a different color on retail to fake. I would say it's a slightly more see-through appearance on the retail one compared to the fake one, which gives it a little hint of blue towards the tips of both of the red laces. On the spare set of checkered laces, I would say they're incredibly close. However, the kind of white creamy color underneath is slightly different. I would say the fake one is slightly more white and then creamy, and the retail one is slightly more creamy than white. However, this is pretty hard to tell, but something to look at if you are looking incredibly closely. Taking a look at the inside label of both of these shoes, you can see a clear difference and pretty easy difference between the two pairs. So as you look at the labels, they are very different from retail to fake. I would say that the text on the fake one is much bolder, even down to the Jordan logo at the top. You can see it's much bigger on the fake one compared to the retail one. I'd say the ink is actually printed a lot thicker on the fake label compared to the retail one. It's quite an easy telltale difference between the two pairs. So if you are looking at a pair and trying to authenticate it, take a look at the label straight away. So now we'll take out the cardboard shoe treat from both of these shoes and take a closer look. So in terms of the symbols on top of the cardboard shoe treat, they are more indented on the fake one compared to the retail one, but nobody really cares about that. It's just some slight difference. They do both say die cut sock liner on the inside. However, once again, it's more indented on the fake one compared to the retail one. But these are just cardboard shoe trees. Nobody cares about them. So we'll take out the insole from both. They're actually stuck down. So I was going to take out the insole from both, but the retail one's actually stuck in. I couldn't get it out, so that's kind of weird. But this is the fake one. It does have a little bit of glue, but it's not really stuck that well, and I don't really want to completely rip the insole out of the retail pair. But having analysed from above, the pattern on the top of the fake one is exactly the same as the retail one, and the colours are absolutely spot on. The only difference is the fake one came out just because there wasn't enough glue, but the differences are very minor on the insoles. The final difference I'm going to point out is actually the material of the toe box on both of these. Although they actually kind of look quite similar from a camera angle, if you actually put your finger over them and rub it over, I would say the retail one is a little bit higher quality and thicker material compared to the fake one, which seems a lot smoother and almost plasticky compared to the retail one. However, in terms of appearance, they look very similar. It's just the feel that seems very different between the two pairs. But that is the end of this video. As you can see, these are pretty close. There really isn't too much difference between the two pairs. And let me know what you think down below in the comments. Did you spot any more differences that I've missed? Let me know down below in the comments. But thank you very much for watching. If you're trying to purchase a retail pair, I hope this video has helped you, because this is a very nice pair. It does remind me a little bit of school shoes, but That's just me. But thank you very much for watching. Hope you have an amazing day.